Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this lecture, we'll be talking about different theories to explain the diversity of life. Before going into the detail of different theories to explain the diversity of life, let us first find out what is evolution. Evolution is change in the heritable characteristics of biological population over successive generations. Different theories are put forth to explain the diversity of life. Uh, some of the most important theories are Lamarck theory, Darwin theory, mutation theory, and modern synthetic theory. In this lecture, we will talk about Lamarck theory of evolution. Lamarck theory of evolution or Lamarckism. It is also called theory of inheritance of acquired characters. It was proposed by a great French naturalist Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck in 1809 in his famous book Philosophique Zoologique. This theory is based on the assumption on the comparison between the contemporary species of his time to fossil records. His theory is based on the inheritance of acquired characters, which are defined as the changes developed in the body of an organism from normal characters in response to the changes in environment or in the functioning, that is use and disuse of organs in their own lifetime to fulfill their new needs. Thus Lamarck stressed on adaptation as means of evolutionary modification. Postulates of Lamarckism. Lamarckism is based on the following four postulates. New needs. Every living organism is found in some kind of environment. The changes in the environmental factors like light, temperature, medium, food, air, etc., or migration of animal lead to the origin of new needs in the living organism, especially animals. To fulfill these new needs, the living organism have to exert special efforts like the changes in habits or behavior. Second postulate of Lamarck is use and disuse of organs. The new habits involve the greater use of certain organs to meet new needs, and the disuse or lesser use of certain other organs which are of no use in new conditions. This use and disuse of organs greatly affect the form, structure, and functioning of the organs. Inheritance of acquired characters. Lamarck believed that acquired characters are inheritable and are transmitted to the offspring so that these are born fit to face the changed environmental condition and the chances of their survival are increased. Speciation or formation of new species. Lamarck believed that in every generation new characters are acquired and transmitted to next generation, so that new characters accumulate generation after generation. After a number of generations, a new species is formed. So, according to Lamarck, an existing individual is the sum total of the characters acquired by a number of previous generations, and the speciation is a gradual process. Example. One of the most famous example that Lamarck quoted is that of a giraffe. Ancestors of giraffes are supposed to be deer-like grazing upon the grasses. Due to disappearance of ground vegetation and availability of trees, long-necked and long four-limbed giraffe develop from short-necked and small four-limbed deer-like ancestors. This is one of the most quoted example of Lamarck theory. Another example is that of the snakes. Ancestors of limbless snakes were lizard-like reptiles with fully developed pentadactyl limbs. Due to continuous disuse of limbs and stretching of their body to suit their creeping mode of locomotion, limbless snakes evolved. This is the second most quoted Lamarck. Another one is that of the horse. Ancestor of modern horse used to live in the areas with soft ground and were short-legged with more number of functional digits. These gradually took to live in areas with dry ground. This change in habit was accompanied by increase in length of legs and decrease in functional digits for fast running over hard ground. Criticism of Lamarckism. Uh, For the first time, it was August Weismann, a German biologist, who proposed the theory of continuity of germplasm in 1892. This theory states that a multicellular organism is formed of two types of cells, that is, germ cells have genes for inheritable characters to the offspring, and somatic cells which have genes of particular organ during one's lifetime only. Environment affects only somatic cells, as link between generation is through germ cells and somatic cells are not transmitted to next generation, so the acquired character must be lost with the death of an organism, so these should have no role in evolution. In a famous experiment, August Weismann cut off tails of newborn mice generation after generation. At the end of experiment, tails of mice neither disappear nor shorten. So this gives a clear idea that the characters that are used during lifetime are not inherited to the next generations. Another experiment was done by Pavlov, a Russian physiologist who trained mice to come for food on hearing a bell. He reported that this training is not inherited and was necessary in each generation.